Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Alice Gottesman, and I'm an engagement specialist with Global Forest Watch. Today, we'll be talking with you about how MapBuilder can be used to create forest and land use monitoring applications on a paid organizational ArcGIS Online account. So before we get started, I wanted to give you a quick overview of how you can ask questions during this webinar. If you have a question about what we're presenting, please click on the Q&A button and type it in there. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll have some time to answer your questions. I also wanted to flag that a survey will populate on your screen after we end the webinar. We'd greatly appreciate any feedback you might have for us on the webinar or on MapBuilder. Otherwise, we are recording this webinar and we'll send out the recording along with a copy of the presentation in the coming week. So first, I'll provide a quick overview of Global Forest Watch. Some of you might recognize this overview if you've joined us for previous webinars. Global Forest Watch offers an integrated, openly accessible suite of tools designed to enable experts and non-experts alike to access information about forest change and mobilize action. And some examples of how this is done include increasing knowledge and transparency about forest landscapes. So Global Forest Watch tools and data offer access to the state of the world's forests to everyone, everywhere for free. Harnessing information to mobilize local action by governments and civil society. We have a variety of partners and some programs that help promote data-driven action. And lastly, advancing private sector action to stop commodity-driven deforestation and manage forests sustainably. One of our tools, Global Forest Watch Pro, allow the private sector to measure risk associated with their supply chains. And MapBuilder aligns with this strategy by allowing actors to easily create their own monitoring applications, thus empowering them to understand what's happening in their respective environments and take action. With us today to discuss MapBuilder are Gabrielle Nussbaum, an engagement manager at Global Forest Watch, and Kai Krezek, a GIS product manager at Global Forest Watch. Gabrielle works on user engagement and project implementation for Forest Watcher and MapBuilder. She partners with governments, NGOs, and academic institutions to combine national data with global data and technology from Global Forest Watch to monitor forests and land use on national and local scales. She'll provide an introduction to MapBuilder and explain the different types of ArcGIS Online account types in just a little bit. Kai works on the creation and implementation of national forest and land use atlases in the South Caucasus, Central Africa, and Madagascar. She similarly partners with various groups to monitor forests and land use on a national scale, while also managing the development cycle for MapBuilder. Kai will provide a demonstration of how you can use MapBuilder with a paid organizational ArcGIS Online account later on. So throughout this webinar, we'll offer an introduction to MapBuilder, elaborating on MapBuilder's history and what it offers, and then also differentiate the ArcGIS Online account types that are available, which are a free public account or a paid organizational account. We'll then offer a demo of MapBuilder and highlight how you can utilize it to create your own monitoring application on a paid organizational account. And lastly, we'll cover some examples of how MapBuilder has been used in the past. Then at the end, we'll provide ample time for questions. I'll now pass it to Gabrielle to talk about MapBuilder and the account types available.
Great. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure being here all with you. So MapBuilder is a tool that allows anyone to combine their own data with some of the global data that's available on Global Forest Watch and also on the WRI API. Data can be overlaid and visualized And MapBuilder includes on-the-fly analyses similar to the ones that you see on the Global Forest Watch flagship site. The map that you create can then be shared or embedded into your own website. MapBuilder includes preloaded data like the near real-time deforestation and fire alerts, the tree cover loss and gain data, land cover data, intact forest landscape data, and more. And you can then overlay it with your own important data sets, your own contextual data, such as national and regional land use data, national land cover maps, or any other data that you find relevant for your project. And the result would be your own MapBuilder. The workflow to create a MapBuilder application is integrated with ArcGIS Online to seamlessly host and visualize your own data sets. It has built-in analysis tools, its code is open source, and it supports the Open Geospatial Consortium standards. The application that you create can be shared as is, or you can also embed it into your own website. Currently, MapBuilder supports 10 languages. So you can have English and also another language of your choice, depending on the local context of the map that you're creating. So now I'm going to briefly show you some of the features on the map using MapBuilder. So as mentioned, one of the key features of MapBuilder is that it allows users to easily visualize their own data alongside some of the important global data sets available on Global Forest Watch. This can give information about the context of these data. For example, you may be able to understand if tree cover loss is actually illegal deforestation or not, based on if it overlaps with your own national or regional land use data that you have. You can also get attribute information about features on the map at a glance. So for example, here you can see that a forest concession is highlighted in blue at the top of the map. And then information about that concession is displayed on the tab on the left-hand panel, on the left-hand side. The information in this tab is customized based off of your own data and what you want to display. So you can decide what sort of information to display for each feature that you have. As mentioned, MapBuilder supports on-the-fly analyses. This includes things like tree cover loss and gain, CO2 emissions, GLAD alerts, and land cover composition, just to name a few of the analyses that it supports. Like on the Global Forest Watch flagship sites, users of the map that you build can upload their own shapefile locally for analysis. This upload wouldn't be saved on the map, and it would be only seen by the user of your map, like in Global Forest Watch. They can also draw an area on the map, or they can click on one of the features on your map to perform an analysis. So for example, a user of your map that you created using MapBuilder might be interested in knowing the GLAD alerts per month of a protected area to monitor conservation efforts. Additionally, if users of your map also use Global Forest Watch and have a MyGFW account, they can log into their account within your own map that you've created and view the areas they have saved within the account on your map and also run analysis on those areas. So here you can see the analysis results are displayed on the left-hand data panel on the map. MapBuilder also has integrated satellite imagery that is filterable. We've recently added the ability to view high-resolution imagery from Planet, which is available in the tropics. And lastly, as mentioned, MapBuilder allows users to share their maps via a link or through social media. Some of the features we haven't mentioned yet on MapBuilder is a measuring tool that allows users of the map that you create to measure distances. There's also a search feature to look at or find different features on the map. And there's also the ability to add documents to features. So for example, you might want to attach legal documents that are PDF to logging concessions to show transparency on the concessions and their management plans and to make those publicly available. Although you don't necessarily need an Esri account to build a map builder, we suggest that you follow the workflow that is based on Esri since it is simple to use and provides a means to host your data. There are two basic account types, and the workflow is a little different based on the account type that you have. The organizational account type is a paid account, so it costs money, and it allows users to publish hosted features, has a larger storage amount that you're allowed, and also allows users to share their data more widely. The public account type is free, but it does not allow users to publish hosted features, has a lower data storage limit, and a more limited data sharing option. This webinar is to review the workflow for the paid organizational account type. And we have hosted a webinar already for the free public account type earlier this year. And you can find the recording of that on the Global Forest Watch website if you're interested in learning more about how to use that account type with MapBuilder. Another difference between the account types is how users can customize their map and how customizable their map is. These differences are both dependent on the account type a user has, as well as the data type. So this chart, which will soon be available on the Global Forest Watch website, goes through some of these options and what account you need to have and what data type to access some of these more customized features. So now I'll hand it back to Alice to go over the next part of the webinar.
Great, thank you so much, Gabby. Thank you for that in-depth explanation of MapBuilder and the different account types. So now we'll be moving forward to the demo of how you can build a MapBuilder using a paid organizational account on ArcGIS Online. I wanted to flag that throughout the demo, Kai mentioned some links that you can use to kind of follow along and help guide you through how to build one, and she will be sure to share those in the chat with you all during the demo. All right, let's get started.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today for this MapBuilder tutorial. Today we will be going over how to create a land use monitoring application with a paid ArcGIS Online account. This account type is otherwise known as an organizational ArcGIS Online account. During this webinar, I will go over how to identify your account type and the user role associated with your specific account. Next, I will cover how to register the Global Forest Watch MapBuilder template to your organization if it is not already registered. Then I will walk you through how to customize your application, add a variety of different data types, and then share your MapBuilder application with your intended audience. This page contains a list of helpful links and resources. The first link is a tutorial in PDF format. It covers all of the content that we will be going through today. The links below the tutorial PDF are data downloads. The Republic of the Congo eucalyptus plantations and mining permits are two data sets that we will use in the example presented. You can access these data sets as well to work alongside the webinar or to access later when building a mapping application of your own. First of all, I will show you how to log into your organizational account and verify the kind of user license and user type you have been granted. So here I'm signing in to the ordinary ArcGIS sign-in page. Upon signing in, I will go to the top right corner of the screen and click on My Profile. Here you should be able to see if you are a member of your organization, as well as which groups you might be a part of and have been added to within your organization. Next, I'm going to go into My Settings. And here you can see the types of licenses that you're able to access, as well as the user type and role that you have been granted by your administrator. These user types and roles often dictate the types of data that you can upload into your account, whether or not you can publish to your organization's ArcGIS server, and many other functionalities. If you are unable to access your organizational account, or you do not see the correct licenses and permission levels that you need, you can discuss this with your account administrator, who should be able to give you access to the appropriate functionalities. Next, I'm going to go through the steps that are necessary in order to register the Global Forest Watch MapBuilder template and use it as a configurable mapping application. These steps must be performed by an admin on the organization account, so make sure that you have the correct permissions before attempting these following steps. Once this template is registered, it will be available to all organization members, and you will not have to go through this process again. The first step you will need to take in order to register the Global Forest Watch MapBuilder template to your organizational account is to click the Groups button here on the top. And then once this page has loaded, click this button on the top left that says Create Group. Once you do this, you will name the group. Provide a short summary. And perhaps some tags that are relevant to this group as well. The next thing you'll need to do is modify the group settings based on your organization's needs. You can select who can be in this group, how people join this group, who can view this group, and who can contribute content. Once you're done adjusting these settings, select Save, and this will create the group. Now that you have selected the correct template, look on the right-hand side of the screen, and there is a button that says Share. Click on this, and this will enable you to share this template with the group that you just created. In order to do that, click this button here on the bottom that says Edit Group Sharing. Now look at the left-hand side of the window that just popped up, and you'll want to view groups for the account that you are in. So in this case, it's the GFW MapBuilder account. Once you select that, you can click on the group. In this case, it is the MapBuilder application template group that I just created. And then click Select, and then OK. And then save this setting. The next step you'll want to take is to designate the group that you just created as the default group for any configurable applications you make in the future. In order to do this, you'll go to the top of the screen and select Organization. Then click Settings and select the Map section of Settings. Once you have successfully done this, scroll down to the Configurable Apps section of Settings. From the drop-down menu, select the group that you created in Step 1. Check the box to share the Esri default configurable apps to this group, and then click Save. The setting here is already established. Within this account, we are saving all of our configurable applications to the group applications template. However, in your case, you'll want to edit this and find the correct group from this drop-down list. Once you've accomplished this, you can now go forward with creating your MapBuilder application, and any configurable applications you create with that template will be saved in the group that you just designated. Now that you have completed those steps, we can move forward with setting up your configurable MapBuilder application. The first step you'll need to do is to create a web map. This is important because this web map is the main map that you'll be using in your configurable application. In this step, you'll be adding different data sets and also configuring the symbology and metadata of the data sets that you choose to add. For this step, I'm going to use the standard map viewer. However, there is a new map viewer option that you can experiment with if you're interested in trying that out. Now that I'm here on this new web map, I'm going to go ahead and save it before I do anything else. This is important so that you don't lose any of your work in the future. Give it a descriptive title. And then designate some tags in order for you to better locate this map in your content in the future. If you would like, you can also add a description of the map and select specifically the folder that you'd like to save this map in. There are several different folders that you can choose from, and this will help you better locate this web map in the future. Once you have given your web map the title that you would like, as well as filled out the rest of the information, select Save Map. This action will save your new web map to the My Content section of your account. The next thing we will do is add our first data set to our web map. To do this, go to the top left corner of your page and select Add Content to Map. The first type of layer that we will be adding to our map is a layer from a file. Select that option from the drop-down menu. Please note that if you're interested in implementing the data that we are demonstrating in this webinar, you can download the data via the link that we've placed in the chat. We will also be sending you a copy of this presentation after the demonstration so that you can access this information at a later date. So in order to import the shapefile from your desktop, please select Choose File, and then navigate to the folder that you have saved your data in. In this case, I've saved it on my desktop in the Demo Data folder. I'll click on this without unzipping it and select Open. You have a couple options. You can generalize the features for web display or keep original features. In this case, I'm going to keep the original features and then select Import Layer. The data has successfully loaded into the web map. At this stage in the process, I like to save the web map so that no progress is lost. Once that has been completed, we can start looking at the data set and selecting the style that we'd like to use. The data set that we're using in this demonstration are mining permits in the Republic of the Congo. I can choose to select an attribute, such as the permit type, which is showing now, and select unique colors to represent each permit type. Conversely, I can select the second option here, which is the single symbol style, and this will change the entire layer to the same color. I will stick with this visualization and then select Done. The next step is to give your data set a more descriptive title. At the moment, it's hard for users to understand what data they're seeing. So in order to rename it, we will select More Options and then scroll down to Rename. Now we'll rename our layer. Now the title is something that helps a user better understand the data set that they're viewing. This title here will also be the title that appears on the web mapping application that you make in the future. There are a variety of other customizations you can do for this layer. If you select more options, for example, you can set the transparency of the data set. You could do this in case you wanted to see features underneath this layer. You can also configure pop-ups, so the information that appears when a user clicks on a specific item in your data set. You can create labels and even more. Now I will show you how to add a different format of data to your map. Go back to the top bar and select Add Content to Map. Now select Add Layer from Web. We will be adding an ArcGIS server web service URL to link the data to our map. The data we're using today is a data set containing eucalyptus plantations in Republic of Congo. This data is located on the Global Forest Watch Open Data Portal, and the link will be provided to you in the chat and in the PowerPoint, which we will distribute to you after this presentation. I'll now navigate to the data set by opening a new tab and pasting the URL here. Perfect. Now you can see the page for the entry of the Republic of the Congo Eucalyptus Plantations dataset. This page has a wealth of information about the dataset. The summary shows some information about the boundaries and about how the dataset was compiled. Scrolling down and looking to your right, you can see some other details about the data, such as when it was last updated, when it was published, and some information about the data license agreement. Since we want to add this data to our map via service URL, scroll all the way down to the bottom. From this list here, you will select View Data Source. This will open up the layer in the ArcGIS REST Services directory. Now you will copy and paste this URL, go back to the tab that contains your web map, and paste this URL, and then add the layer. Great. Now you can see the eucalyptus plantations appear here on our map by the Republic of Congo mining permits. Again, we can go into this drop-down menu and rename the data to something a little bit shorter and a little more formalized. Great. Additionally, you can edit the symbology of the dataset similarly to how we did it with the Congo mining permits. Right here, the symbol allows you to change the style if you click it. And now you can see again that by pushing options here, you access a new area where you can select symbols and then change the color of the eucalyptus plantations. You can also, again, affect the transparency here and then select OK when you're done. Now we have two data sets on our web map. I'll show you a third way to add data to your web map and then go into how to add this web map that you've just created to a web mapping application. Before adding another data set to our map, I recommend saving your web map once more to ensure that you don't lose any progress that you've made so far. Once you've saved the map, we will return to Add Content to Map, and now we'll search for layers. The default search area for layers is in the content on your own account. However, we want to expand this search beyond our own account to all of ArcGIS Online's public layers. Once you select that, you can go ahead and search for layers. The layer that I would like to add to this map are Republic of the Congo protected areas. Once I type in that search, you can see a number of different layers appear. Scrolling down, I've now identified the layer that I would like to add. This protected areas layer was submitted by the ministry in the Republic of the Congo, and looking here at the description, you can learn more about this layer and what it shows. Once I've verified that this is indeed the layer that I would like to add, I'm going to select Add to Map. You can see the layer appear now on the right map. Again, we'll go through the process of renaming the layer. To be more uniform with our other layers, select OK. Edit the name of this layer because I forgot an article. And we will also edit the symbology to make it stand out a little bit more. At the moment, the layer is sorted by protected area type. I'll select Options and then Symbols, and maybe choose a different color ramp. That will be more appropriate for this layer. Now the style blends in a little bit more with the rest of our layers. I'll select OK, and then make sure you choose Done. If you don't push Done here at the end, you'll lose the work that you just did. Great. Now that we have added all of our data, we can move forward with creating a web mapping application with the MapBuilder template. Before we move on to the next step, I would recommend that you once again save your web map. I would also encourage you to adjust the sharing settings of your web map by clicking Share next to the Save button. This will enable you to allow viewers of your choice access to your map. In this case, I'm going to share this map with the general public, so anyone with an ArcGIS Online account, public or organizational, can view this map. If you would choose to do so, you can also narrow down permissions for the web map to just your organization or even just members of specific groups. Once you're done, select Done at the bottom. And now we can move on to creating our web application. Go to the top left corner and select the drop-down arrow next to Home. Now scroll down and hover over Content. Here I would recommend that you right-click on Content and open that in a new tab. This way you can always reference your web map in the future. Now you'll open up the new tab and see the content section of your profile, where things like web maps, web mapping applications, and more are stored. Select Create App here, and now scroll down to Configurable Apps. This will open up an option to select one of many web app templates that are available in ArcGIS Online. The one you're searching for is the MapBuilder template, so enter that into the search and select GFW MapBuilder template v1.latest. The other templates are previous versions of our MapBuilder application. Now select Create Web App and give your web application a descriptive title. You can add some tags and optionally add a summary, and then select the folder that you would like to save this web app in. Now select Done, After a moment, you will see the Web Application Builder load, and the first thing that will pop up is this opportunity to select the web map that you'd like to feature in this application. We can search for the web map that we just made and select it, select again. Now it will give us this option to sign into the item on ArcGIS Online. One option is to enter your username and password, which you'll have to do if you make your application not accessible to the public. This is a layer of authentication that is meant to protect your data. However, in this case, I think I would like to make this web map publicly available. So I can go to the other tab that I have up, open content again, where I'll see my new application listed in content. Now I can update my sharing settings a different way by selecting this icon and opening up permission for people outside of my organization to access the application. If I save this and then go back to the tab I was working on for my application, I can reload. And then I can avoid having to re-enter my login information, which is convenient if you have to keep working on this application more than once. Now you'll see the web map that you just made appear here. Now we are on the final leg of our journey to create a MapBuilder application. What you are looking at now is the application builder, which will enable you to edit things like the application title, the subtitle, the logo, and more. You can explore the map too as you're making these changes. For example, if you'd like to see what data sets from Global Forest Watch are showing up here, what analysis functions you have, and more. So first, what we'll do is edit the title of our application to something more relevant to what's being shown on the map. We can also change the subtitle for our application. I'll just use the default subtitle. Now, this setting here will change the name of the group that shows your custom layers here in the layer menu. Now, this is a pretty descriptive and appropriate title for the group, but if you would like to change it to something more relevant to your own web application, then you can do so here. If you'd like to add a narrative about your web application, you can. I'll add one just so you can see what that looks like. Once you hit save, you can start to see the changes that you've made reflected on the map on your right. You have even more options here to edit the logo by entering a link to an image file. You can change the color theme for your application. You can change the URL that you would like users to access when they click your logo, and some additional more detailed settings. Once you're done here, move to the next tab where you can add an additional language if you so choose. In this case, you could add French. You will need to add the title for your application in the alternative language, as well as translate some of the other pieces of information. Move to the next tab and you can select which default layers here in the Land Cover Dynamics layer group you would like to include or exclude. One setting that you can adjust here in this tab is to add a layer mask for your map. This will enable you to enter the 3-digit ISO code of your country of focus and highlight that on your map by graying out the surrounding regions. The 3-digit ISO code for Republic of the Congo is COG. I'll enter that and then select Save. Now on the right-hand map view, you can see that the Republic of the Congo is highlighted and the surrounding areas are darker so that the area of interest really stands out. Here you will also select the layers that show up here in the Land Cover Dynamics section of your layer menu. These layers are provided by Global Forest Watch and can be turned on and off. So for example, I will turn off the sat alerts in my application because they are only for Brazil. I'll also turn off the Terra I alerts so that I can focus on the GLAD near real-time deforestation alerts and keep the VIIRS and MODIS active fire alerts. I'll also keep the intact forests, the above ground biomass and land cover layers, and maybe add this pantropical primary forest layer. I'll save that, and then you can see the layer menu change in response to the selections that I've made. In the Land Cover Dynamics group, you can see that the Terra I dataset has been removed. If you go down to Land Cover, you'll see that now primary forest is an option. That's something that I just turned on over here. Moving over to the next tab, you can see some additional advanced settings. In this box here, you can actually add some additional GFW MapBuilder application IDs. You would do this if you were interested in making a series of MapBuilder applications and enabling access to that series of applications through one map. You can also designate a Google Analytics code in this box if you would like to track the usage of your web application. There are some additional very detailed settings here. You can include the MyGFW login and alert subscriptions functionality, which is shown here on the top right. If you have a MyGFW account, you can create saved areas and subscriptions and access those not only on the main GFW site, but also now on the MapBuilder application. You can hide the header of the app, hide the footer of the app, use a custom base map, and even show documents in a separate tab. You would select this option if a custom data set you added contained any documents such as PDFs in the attributes. Once you are done configuring your MapBuilder application, make sure to save again. If it's grayed out, you've already saved any changes that you've made, and then select Launch. This is your finished MapBuilder application. I'll now walk through a couple of features just so you can get an overall tour of what is available to you on this application. You can see the layers that you've added, as well as many contextual layers provided by Global Forest Watch, including land cover dynamics like tree cover loss, tree cover gain, land cover such as intact forest landscapes and primary forests, climate data such as potential carbon sequestration, recent imagery, and a series of base maps. So for example, if you would like to show a more simple map, you can choose our contextual map here. If you would like to see even higher resolution data shown, you can select planet imagery. This is a new feature that enables you access to the Planet High Resolution Imagery Catalog. If you click this tab here, you can see the info that we added during the editing process. You can also select a shape that is showing on your map, such as this shape here in the Republic of the Congo Protected Areas dataset. In this data tab, you'll see all of the attributes show up here, so you can get more information about that specific data point. If you go into the analysis menu here, you can select from a variety of different analyses. For an example, I'll do a VIIRS active fires analysis on this specific protected area. Let's look at VIIRS fire alerts from the past month or so. If I run the analysis, it will show me that in the past month, there were 5 active fires in this specific protected area. I can download this image and print a report that shows a compilation of all of these different analyses. Some additional features can be shown here on the right. This button here enables you to access a link which you can copy and paste. You can also share on social media, Twitter and Facebook. Make sure that if you are to choose this sharing option on social media, that you set your MapBuilder application and web map to publicly accessible. If you don't do this, then any public users will not be able to view your application. There are a variety of other features here on the right too. If you select this eye icon, it will turn off the legend and data menu so that you can have a better view of your map. You can do things like measure the distance. You can print out a copy of this map. You can even draw your own shape to do a similar analysis, such as the one I did here, and do other things like enter your own coordinates for an analysis, or even drop a custom shape file. Lastly, you may be interested in embedding your MapBuilder application into a pre-existing website. To do this, you can copy and paste the code shown here on the screen. You will replace the highlighted URL with the URL for your specific MapBuilder application. You can also adjust the width and the height of your application on your web page. That concludes our MapBuilder demonstration. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to taking any questions and making any clarifications to help you better navigate this process.
Thank you so much, Kai, for that in-depth demo. It really helped to follow along as you built a map builder and explained each step. So thank you. I'll now pass it over to Gabby, who will explain how different kinds of map builders that have been created in the past and how they were created.
Great, thanks, Alice. So I'm now going to give you just a couple examples of some use cases for MapBuilder. Oops, there we go. Okay. So the WRI Equity Center uses MapBuilder to show spatial data and conduct on-the-fly analysis for the Landmark platform. And this is the first global platform to provide maps and other critical information on lands that are collectively held and used by Indigenous peoples and local communities. The platform is created to help Indigenous peoples and local communities protect their rights and land tenure. So the integration of Global Forest Watch data layers and analysis tools to calculate tree cover loss, carbon stocks, and more provide valuable contextual information that helps show the importance of Indigenous and community lands in conserving and managing natural rights. The map has several layer groups, including Indigenous and community land maps, community natural resource rights, indicators of legal security rights, assets, and also pressures. At the bottom of the layer groups are the Global Forest Watch data layers mentioned. So you can see that the creators of the platform made a choice to highlight their own data first and then move the Global Forest Watch data layers to the bottom of the list within the layer panel. So that's a little bit different than how the default layer panel is set up. This map also only has 3 tabs on the data menu panel on the left-hand side: the layers tab, the data tab that gives the additional attribute information of specific features, and also an analysis tab. So the creators of this map customized it to take away tabs on the panel box that they didn't feel was necessary to their goals. This specific map was then embedded into a WordPress site. So the Landmark platform is able to provide additional information about the project. If you'd like to explore this map further, then you can visit landmarkmap.org. Next, I'll talk about the Forest Atlas for the Ministry of Environment Protection and Agriculture of the Republic of Georgia, which is located in the South Caucasus. In this map, WRI worked closely with the government of Georgia to determine the needs of the platform, collect and organize and curate the data that would be put onto this platform, and also to utilize many of the features of MapBuilder. This atlas has 3 different interactive maps based on different themes of interest to the ministry. So the one that is displaying right now is the forest categories theme, which gives more detailed information about designated forests. There is also, though, a land use map and a land degradation map. You can also see that under each data layer is a slider that can change layer transparency of the map, as well as a small yellow icon next to the data where you can click and get a pop-up that shows the metadata for the layer you select. This platform also includes an open data portal, so users can download some of the data they visualize. And you can see on the far left side of the panel is the Documents tab, or the far right side, sorry, of the panel is the Documents tab. And there are legal documents attached to some of the features on the map, either as a PDF or a Word document, or even a picture. And this allows users to get more legal information about what it is they're seeing. So the purpose of this map is for internal use for the ministry to easily view data related to forests and land use in one centralized location. And this can help with zoning decisions, and being able to get monitoring of forests and more contextual information. But also this map is shared publicly, and this helps provide data transparency for those interested in issues surrounding forests and the environment for that region. And this particular map builder is also available in both English and also in Georgian in the local language. If you'd like to explore this map further to see how it might inspire you to build your own map builder, you can visit atlas.mepa.gov.ge. So now I will pass it back to Alice.
Thanks so much, Gabby. And thank you for walking through those use cases. If possible, if you could share that link to the atlas with the attendees, that would be great so they can access it more easily. So now we'll head into the Q&A, but before we get started, I wanted to provide a quick overview of the Help Center. So the Help Center provides access to training materials such as step-by-step instructions like the one on the screen, webinar recording. So this particular webinar recording will be on the Help Center, and FAQs. So if you want to learn more about how you can use MapBuilder and other Global Forest Watch tools, You can learn how to do that by accessing the Help Center and browsing through the different materials accessible there. I also wanted to flag that we are thinking of holding a more in-depth and practical workshop in the near future. So if you're interested in that, or if you generally want to talk with us about an idea you have for a MapBuilder application, please don't hesitate to reach out. Our team email is on the next slide. So it's mapbuilder@wri.org. Anyway, we'll now open it up for Q&A. So if you have a question, please enter it through the Q&A button and we will do our best to answer it. And we will kick it off with a question from Marco Garcia. Thank you for joining us, Marco. His question is, what is the difference between a paid ArcGIS Online account and a paid Esri ArcGIS account? Can the normal Esri ArcGIS account be used for the online version? And I'll pass that question over to Kai.
Hello, Marco. Thank you so much for your question. This question kind of gets into the details about the different licensing options that are available on ArcGIS Online. I'm not an expert about different license types, but there are two main license categories. One is for business and one is for individuals. If your ArcGIS account is a business account and you have a creator user type, then you should be able to access all the functions we discussed today. If you have an individual account, so ArcGIS for personal use, then some of your options on ArcGIS Online are limited and you would have to pay extra for additional access. I hope that helps, but feel free to follow up if you have more detailed questions.
Thanks so much, Kai. So the next question is from Afif, and I really hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You asked, will RAD alerts be added under the land cover dynamics section on the MapBuilder application? And I'll point that question over to Gabrielle.
Yes, thanks for your question. We are very excited to let you know that RAD alerts will be soon available on MapBuilder, as well as GLAD S2 alerts, which are a higher resolution version of the GLAD alerts. So we plan on having these alerts available later this year. So be on the lookout for that because it will be available very soon.
Thank you. It's exciting to hear that those alert data sets will be added to MapBuilder very soon. So the next question is from Gothir. And it is about the cost of an ArcGIS Online account. I will point that question over to Kai. I know that there is a free account and then the paid account. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the difference between the two again.
Sure, I'm happy to cast a little more light on this subject. It is a little bit complicated. So it depends on what type of license you're purchasing, and there are different license types that offer different levels of access. So if you are interested in potentially a business license for a creator user type, which is the foundational user type, that includes access to lots of different apps and editors. So for example, the web app builder that we discussed today, this would be $500 per year. There are some other less expensive options. It scales down based on what different access you want to tools and resources in ArcGIS Online. But this is a complicated subject, so I'm happy to post in the chat some more information that can be found on the Esri.com website.
Great, thank you so much, Kai. That would be really helpful. The next question is from Nafaldi, and it is, can we do time series analysis on MapBuilder? And I will pass that question over to Gabrielle.
Great, yeah, thank you. So I'm not 100% sure what you mean by time series, but within MapBuilder, there's a few on the fly analysis options, and you can look at changes over time. So you can look at yearly tree cover loss changes. You can look at GLAD alerts per month. So there are options to look at how forests are changing over time using the on-the-fly analysis in your area of interest or in a specific feature that's on the map. But any other types of analyses that aren't already provided by MapBuilder that you might want to show in the map would probably have to be done using a GIS and then adding that resulting data to the map.
Thank you, Gabby. If anyone else has questions, please enter them to the chat. And I see Kai shared the link to Esri to learn more about the licensing costs and features, but also noted that they do offer discounts for nonprofit organizations. So you can learn more about the different account types and their associated costs there. All right, so I think we're okay to wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. If we weren't able to get to your question, or if you think of an additional question, or you want to talk with us about an idea you have for a MapBuilder application, please feel free to reach out to us at mapbuilder@wri.org. The email is on the screen for your reference. And we will be sharing the recording of this webinar in the next few business days. So please keep an eye out for that email. Thank you, everyone.